Hey baby.
Hey, welcome back.
I feel like the signature greeting like with every single episode was like, hey baby. And
Hey.
then like go into things.
Yes.
But today we're gonna do like something different, right? We're gonna do like
Yes.
rapid fire Q&A.
Choo-choo-choo.
Yeah. And
Ah,
I mean, how many questions do we have? We have 70 questions.
70 questions. It had to start with the number 7 because 7 is my favorite number. Hey guys, you guys are also here. Welcome back. It's been a while. We definitely yeah, we had an amazing festive season, but we're really grateful to be back into the new year. Excited to see what 2026 has in store for us. So many amazing things have already happened, and yeah, we are excited to, answer these Q&As as unfiltered and as quick as we possibly can. So yeah, stay tuned.
And I think important to mention is that this also covers like every part of like a relationship journey. So it's like single for like singleness, for engagement, being in a relationship, being married as well. So we just really wanted to try and cover as many
Yeah.
bases as we could.
Yes.
And that's why there's 70, but we don't know how long it's going to take. We prepped the questions, but we're going to elaborate as we go. And we also wanted to invite you, like obviously these are 70 different questions.
Yeah.
So if there are any of these questions that you would like us to go into, like do a deep dive in, maybe like do a whole episode just like, in that question, please let us know in the comments. This is not to try and get more engagement. It's literally just to try and ask you guys if there are any of these questions that you want us to do a deep dive in,
Yeah.
please let us know and we'll happily do so.
Awesome.
Are you ready, baby?
Let's go.
Okay, so the first question, is it okay to date multiple people at once?
No.
I agree. It
No.
doesn't. It never works out.
It never
well.
works out. I think when you do this, just a quick answer on that, when you do go into the dating pool, it's always best to focus on one person, see if that works, and then from there, if you don't have peace about it, end it properly, give the person clarity. When I say end, I don't mean like, oh, you guys were in a relationship, but just give the person closure as to why you're not pursuing a relationship with them, and then move on, because it can quickly become this whirlwind of confusion and people, feel kind of led on in a way. So it's always just best date one person at a time, or go into the dating pool focusing on one person at a time.
I think the controversial word player plays a role here, because I mean, it's normally the guys that go for many girls and they think it's cool at one stage, but ultimately the player ends up doing himself damage. And also, the ladies involved and whatever. But the biggest thing is like, I think I just wanted to like clarify that even though guys might think it's cool to have like many relationships and whatever, and I think it also goes like towards the females. I mean, you can maybe elaborate on that, not whenever you feel ready. But the thing is just that I think people think it's nice, but in actual fact, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to add, or can I go on?
You can go. We should do it as rapid as we can.
Should you talk about marriage early in dating?
I feel like if you can see the potential immediately in someone and you spend quite some time with that person, I definitely think that you should communicate that marriage is something that you would like in the future, so that they know that marriage is on your radar. But I don't think that, when you just meet the person, speak about marriage immediately.
Yeah.
I think they might get a bit frightened, or a little bit, scared off in a way. Especially guys, when girls go in it like too quick and too hard and speak about marriage like on the first 3 dates, like they are like, whoa.
Yeah.
So
But too deep, too early.
yes, I always say, and this is not always the case, but I always say, if the guy brings it up, it's a green flag in the first 3 months of dating. Because at that moment, guys usually know immediately if this is their wives or not. I don't know, it's just always been a thing. Like if we hear a lot of people's testimonies, for example, we'd hear them say that, I knew from the moment I met her that she's going to be my wife. So if a guy doesn't mention it in the first 3 months, that marriage is on his radar. I don't know, ladies.
Yeah, maybe bring
Discern.
it up anyway. Yeah, bring it up anyway.
Yeah, bring it up. You bring it up.
Yeah, I agree. Should you talk about marriage early on in dating? I would say don't do it just to tick a box. You will know if the relationship is at a mature sort of level for you to maybe just dip your toe into it and see where it goes.
Yes.
Okay. Is it a red flag if the person is still close with their ex?
100% red flag.
I agree.
Stay away.
Yeah.
I rebuke that in Jesus' name.
It's not as many red flags, not even one.
Yes, that's. I think that's a big sign. It's not even a flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is long distance worth it?
I don't know. We'd have to ask people who've been in long distance relationships before. I think if the intentionality is on both ends very, very intentional, like making sure that you invest and speak to that person every day, reach out to that person every day. I don't know if it's for the long run though. It's I
agree.
I don't feel like it's for the long run.
I think long distance opens up the opportunity for like many things to go wrong.
Yes.
Because you don't see that person often. You can call and you can video call and you can do those things, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. So if it's like a month or two, maybe, and especially if you're married, it's a no-go.
Yeah,
it's an absolute no-go.
Yes.
If you're courting, short distance, not short distance, short period, is good.
Yeah.
But longer, I think you grow apart anyway.
Yes. 100%. I think, especially when your love language is quality time and the other person feels like that love language isn't being fulfilled, I think it can grow very, very quickly. How long is long distance? Or let me pose, how far? Now, obviously long distance is because the person is far, but what I mean is like how long are you intending to allow the long distance? Because that, how you said, brings a lot of issues eventually. Like someone won't be that patient to wait for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I agree. Should a man always pay on the first date?
100%. Ladies, it says a lot.
Yeah.
Okay? And guys might disagree, but I think we just grew up very old school. Like men make that statement from the get-go, like, listen, I got this. If it's a second date, we can always compromise. And women are also supposed to be givers. I'm not saying that, they shouldn't ever. But I do feel like the first date, especially just to see his intentionality.
Sets a standard.
Yeah, sets a standard, 100%.
Yeah, and also I think tests your seriousness. I mean, if you go on a date, you're planning for that date, so you might as well just budget for it as well.
Yes.
Should a man always pay on the first date? I think it's a great idea. Is social media stalking normal?
Yeah, I do feel like it does give a sense of,
like, first impressions.
Yeah, just to see like what this person is about. I wouldn't say like unhealthy stalking, like obsessive, like I want to track what they're doing every single like moment they post something. I'm like the first one to like it, like not like unhealthy stalking, but like when you're dating someone and you're trying to get to know the person, I always like to just check through their social media, like just to see like what are they posting, what are they allowing, the type of stuff, type of content. If it's rude content already, it's like a red flag to me. So just something clean, pure.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're speaking about people being intentional and Christ-centered marriages and looking for someone. Their social media a lot of the time does say a lot. Although people don't always post, the real and the raw.
Yeah.
the good, well, the good they do, but the bad and the ugly, they sometimes, you know, skip out on because they only want to give a certain picture of what life looks like on social media. But I definitely think authenticity is starting to step in a lot, and I've seen a lot of people posting more real posts than, or sharing more fragile and sensitive content and being real. I think people are over the whole fake.
Yeah.
Like
People
I'm on
pick up on
holiday
that.
forever and I'm forever in Rome and Italy and, you know, all the amazing places. But I think authenticity is something beautiful to
That you
look
can
for.
pick up as well. I think there's three things that you can look out for when you're doing first impression social media stalking.
Yes.
I think you should check if the same person that you maybe after the first date. I mean, okay, it differs, but there's three things that I wanted to bring to people's attention that you could check out for. Number one is like you can already get an idea of the person who is sort of portraying on social media, and if it's the same person,
and if it's the same,
you meet in person. The second thing is that I think if you see this person, like if it's a male and he's around females all the time, I think that's something to look out for. I'm not saying it's always a bad thing, but I think it's definitely saying
100%.
like it gives a red flag. And number three is like how far back does the posts go? Because sometimes when somebody wants to give a good impression, they sort of delete all of the stuff that you.
Yes, especially when you were younger.
Yeah. You know, so I think those three are three things to look out for.
Yes, definitely.
Can opposite genders be just friends while dating? So can opposite genders be just friends? So sort of, having your male and you have a female sort of best friend while dating somebody else.
I feel like no, it's
risky, right?
I think it's just risky. I think it has to be up to the two people dating in the relationship if they are okay with it. For you and I, our personal experience and opinion, it never, panned out the way we thought it would. And, like I think we shared it in one of our previous episodes, the other like party in the whole situation actually got hurt out of the situation.
Absolutely.
Because immediately when you step into dating, your focus is on your dating partner. And a lot of the times when the other friend or whatever the case may be on each side, it can quickly feel like, oh, you no longer spend as much time with me as you used to and all those type of things. But I do think opposite sex friendships usually fizzle out eventually. Because when your goals align that this is not the person I'm dating with intention to get married, I definitely think there's not really a lot of space for having an opposite sex best friend in that situation. Not saying you can never have someone that's a friend of the opposite sex, guys. Please don't. Please don't misunderstand.
It's not a hard yes or a hard no. It's just to say
it's just like it's up to you.
80% of the time I would suggest not to. But I know there are like exceptions where you probably grown up with this person. You like literally it will always just be friends. You'll always be in the friend zone. But you will know. I mean.
You guys.
Just be vigilant.
We all need to set our own boundaries. So. For you and I, it was just like an immediate, no, it didn't work.
Absolutely. And at least speak to the person, just to communicate.
If it's your person, it's supposed to be easy to speak to them.
Is chemistry more important than character?
No. Chemistry fades eventually.
Yeah. It's
like
hard
that spark, initial chemistry fades.
Yep.
But your character will last forever. And your character... Funny enough, character is the one thing that's left when you guys are in your old age. I'm speaking out of what I've heard from, even my parents. And, they are actually marriage revival coordinators. And just hearing from the experiences that yes, the sparks are there and the chemistry was there in the beginning. I no longer feel the same. But our character is to love one another, still choose one another. So I feel like character definitely outlasts chemistry.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Okay. Would you date someone with different faith values?
Hell no.
Yeah, it's a hard no. It's a hard no.
Nope.
Many relationships that we've seen, marriages, early on, engagements, all of these things. It's always a very difficult topic to speak about. When you have children, what do you do? It's like, which way would you go and stuff like that. So
yes,
I just feel that do each other a favor and say, because it actually comes back to the previous one, because you probably have a lot of chemistry now. You're sort of entertaining faith differences.
I've literally heard about, a lot of women in my life or friends, people that I used to, speak to that would say, oh no, I'm praying that he would change. I'm praying that he would, come to know the Lord Jesus Christ and, become a Christian and all that. And then literally 10 years down the line, they did get married and now they're sitting with like major issues because the guy would give in because he wants the girl, but then there's no solid foundation of him really wanting to commit to the Lord Jesus Christ. And I think that's a major, major problem in a lot of like relationships where we kind of compromised on that.
Absolutely.
And
it catches up in some way.
Catches up 100%.
Is texting all day necessary?
No.
I also think no. I just think that it differs from relationship to relationship. But if you have an expectation from your spouse or your partner or your girlfriend or boyfriend, just at least communicate that. If you want them to check in maybe throughout the day, but it doesn't have to be like stalking vibes. I think somebody's gonna get irritated and then build up maybe, silent resentment. And so just communicate, set boundaries, or you don't, just manage it that way, right?
Yeah, it's so true. I think actually I have a niece that, when, she usually take her mom's phone or like WhatsApp us and stuff. And like she'd WhatsApp and be like, Kiki, answer me, but it's like, that's not how life works. Sometimes you're not always with your phone or you're busy. Like we all probably have some kind of something going on during the day. Hopefully it's being employed. And, we can't be sitting on our phones 24/7. It's not the reality of life.
Yeah.
So texting all day is not necessary, but a check-in each day, I feel like is definitely something that I love. I loved, when you just check on me. How am I doing during the day? Just a quick call to let me know you're thinking of me. Like stuff like that's really special to me.
Yeah.
So just don't set your expectations too high with someone that doesn't text all day.
Yeah. Okay. Should dating be intentional or just fun?
If I'm speaking through a Christ-centered perspective, it should definitely be intentional. We are not out here to have fun with other people's future husbands or wives. That's my straight answer.
Yeah.
So if it's not intentional, just don't do it. Don't lead someone on and break their hearts and, leave them damaged for whoever they are, supposed to be or meant to be with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you can have fun, but it needs to be intentional.
Yes.
Can someone change after marriage?
It depends on how you pose the question. If you're asking if I've changed after marriage, 100% I have. But if you're posing the question from a perspective of when I marry him, he's going to change for the better, then I would say no on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually a very deep question.
Unless Christ steps in. I'll never say never.
There's always an exception.
Yeah.
But I think out of experience with different relationships and other friends getting married and, just having conversations with people saying that, I'm going to leave this addiction when I get married. There's a big thing. Can I please address this? This is really like, I think it's going to help a lot of people. I had this conversation with somebody literally in the week where he also said, I thought that this was a struggle of mine before getting married, and I thought it was going to end after getting married. And I think a big thing that I wanted to like sort of address, especially for the guys, like if you are addicted to pornography, it is not going to fix your pornography addiction when you get married.
When you get married, 100%.
That is an intentional conversation that you literally like need to have with yourself, with God, with your spiritual leaders, whatever. There's just certain things that just not going to change when you get married. Like, boom, the next day everything's going to be fixed. And that is why I think it's important to know that, do you change after marriage? Can be answered in the sense that you guys will grow together, and that's intentional and that needs to happen.
Yes.
But if there's certain addictions and certain habits that you had before getting married, you need to know that it's probably not going to change. It's only going to get worse if you take bad habits into your marriage.
Yes.
And that is when only God can literally, 180 degrees change the person.
Yeah.
And I think also for the females, maybe please like elaborate on this. Yes. There's a lot of females that we heard would say, he's got these traits, and I'm gonna marry him, and I'm gonna change him. There's certain things that I want him. He does this now a certain way. I don't really have examples. Maybe you can elaborate on this. I know we're going into this in a little bit more detail, but like he does this, and I'm gonna change him, and that, like 9 out of 10 times, never works.
No.
He never changes. He probably gets worse, and then the female or the lady, the partner just gets suppressed even more, get depressed eventually, and then it's just, I don't know.
And it just blows up. I think it definitely, I've seen a lot of women, they're like, no, don't worry. I'm going to train him into what I want him to be, like I know how to work with him. I know. But the problem with that is eventually the person comes to the realization, but this woman is trying to make me who I'm not, or I don't feel good enough for this person, or just starts resenting you because that's not really who they are at the core, So I definitely don't think that women should come to that place of like, I'll change the person, or I'll make him a better version of himself, or I don't think there's much more to say than rather just, when you want to get married, make sure that you are a healed version of yourself. We cannot step into marriage, and I'm not saying that I've never had insecurities when I got married. I think, years down the line, I would share stuff with you like about my insecurities. And so I'm not saying you need to be whole, healed, and perfect. What I'm saying is, before you step into it, make sure that what you're offering the person is a whole version of yourself and a healed version of yourself. When I say that, it's because I really feel like a lot of people go in damaged and they feel like marriage will heal them or the person will heal them. But it's only God that can truly heal every single trauma, every single hurt, every single, circumstance that you've ever been through that has caused scars and that has caused your character to be formed in a different way because of what you've been through. And I think, you have a lot of examples even in your own life where, grew up in a very, like, when we spoke about it the other day, like, you grew up so much differently to how I've grown up, and you've had all the examples of what not to do, and I've had all the examples of what to do. And it's just amazing to me, like, how, one can come to a place and just be like, God, I've been through this, but I'm not going to allow this to form my character.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into or not be intentional when I get married and give my other half like a version of myself that still struggles with certain things. And yeah, make sure that you just sort them out is kind of like what I'm trying to say. Make sure you sort out those addictions, those habits before you go into marriage so that you don't hurt the other person on the other end.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify, like 15 seconds. There are deal breaker habits.
Yeah.
There's like small stuff, like leaving your stuff on the floor, your socks on the floor, and like the infamous my drawer example. There's certain things that you make me better in. But there's certain deal breaker habits and addictions that only you will know are deal breakers for you. Don't expect for those things to just change overnight after you get married. But that's coming back to growing together. It's your choice at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is waiting for the one realistic?
Oh, Jesus, help me to answer this question. I is waiting for the one realistic? Yes. But I also feel like if people get fixated on the type of one that they want, they might never find the one.
The perfect list.
If you understand what I'm saying. If you get fixated on this is the one because he ticks everything, like he ticks all my boxes, perfect, like, I don't know, that person doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yes, you should wait for the right one that God shows you, but there's no the perfect one.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it gets revealed to you as you spend time with people, or
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you go for the person that, if I had to put a list here, these are not questions, but if on the top of my list says the one, and there's like a whole like 20 or 50 checklists, and you will only be the one if you tick every single one, that's not realistic. I mean, if we go back to us, I mean, you had a whole, you had certain like deal breaker tick boxes, but I mean, I think you wanted somebody tall, dark, and handsome, and was the opposite. But I grew on you as we spent time together, and then the Holy Spirit.
You're just tall, white, and handsome.
You see,
so you're still perfect in my eyes, but yes,
cute. But I mean, at the end of the day, you had a list, but you were not set on it to say like this and this only. And the Holy Spirit sort of revealed as we spent time together, you were like, baby, or not baby, but like, you're like, okay, but this person is actually what I prayed for. And, I have peace about this. And, we're growing together. He makes me a better person. And here we are today.
Here we are today.
Right. So that question is settled, right?
Okay.
The next one, would you date someone who's never been in a relationship?
Well, yeah. Yes, I think so. There's nothing in the book of the law of dating to say that someone who's never dated someone is a red flag. It might actually be something very beautiful, because I'm not saying the person is contaminated, but like a lot of the times when you've overly dated everything and everyone, you get scarred by it. So I think it's like this beautiful little pure like ground that you can step in and really allow God to guide you. And I think it's beautiful. So I don't think there's a right or wrong answer on that one. So don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like there's good attributes that can come out of that, but there's also bad ones that people can experience through it. So
just have grace with the person as well. Okay. Is it okay to date someone your friends don't like?
I think we touched on it when we spoke about how a lot of the times when people step into relationships and they really like become laser focused on just that person, so much so that the trusted friendships that you've built over the years and they speak about these red flags to you, that you kind of ignore it because you're now, this person is like everything, like my world. And we shouldn't forget that there's a world out there that can see the other perspective on this side, another perspective on this side. So I feel like there's definitely merit to it. If your friends come up to you and be like, listen, we're not comfortable with this guy, this is how they feel about it, definitely hear them out. But if it's something petty, like we don't like him because he's not rich enough, or we don't like him because he's not,
his nose is skewed,
or his personality doesn't match how people always like to speak about energy. I don't get it when they use that word, but like, yeah, just if it's petty and it doesn't really carry any substance, then I feel like it's not your right friends in any way.
Yeah. But don't shoot them down if they do come and speak to you.
Yes, make sure that it's trusted people that have your back, that know what's good for you and what's not good for you. So it can go both ways.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I think you should actually be open to their input, because it might just you might not like it. Hearing what they have to say.
Hearing what they have to say. Because when you're in love, you like being in love. So we don't want to hear what my best friend Jeff has to say. Like, we only want to hear what Mr. Right and Mrs. Right or Miss Right.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Can love grow or must it be instant?
Love grows. Oh my goodness. I wasn't instantly in love with you. Like, I grew in love with you after the third date. Okay, so I feel like I can answer it because I definitely feel like my love for you has grown like immensely, to the point where I can't even describe it. It wasn't instant at first glance, and spending just more time with you, it just grew and grew and grew. So I feel like some instances people do instantly fall in love and they just like boom, like how you did. You like saw me and then there were like stars and hearts in your eyes.
And they collided. I like that illustration. Yeah, and we're still there today.
Yeah.
Making progress. Okay. Is financial stability important before dating?
Well, in our story, I can't really, go at people who feel like this is an important statement or question, because both of us didn't have financial stability when we met. And please revert to episode 1 to hear our full story again. But if it's God-centered, it's always going to come back to God. Like, if it's God-centered, God will give you guys both divine intervention to make that work. In today's society, I think people definitely chase that someone has to be financially stable. Or at least, in our opinion, I would just say, if the person is ambitious and has something going and has these dreams that he actually pursues or she actually pursues, and you can see a track record of them actually trying to make this thing work, then 100% I feel like give the person a chance, and don't just expect them to be like, Elon Musk in the first day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important to elaborate like on your finances maybe early on. I think there are some red flags. If this person is like in debt to their eyeballs, it's a red flag. It's not a deal breaker if you guys are in unity in the sense of like, we're gonna tackle this together. Maybe they got into it not by their choice. But it's to your discretion that,
I think that's why, people always make these jokes and say, I'm first going to ask like 6 months bank statements or before or I want to know his credit score because I don't want bad credit or. Yeah, so it's important, guys. It's not like we're shooting it down and saying live in a fairy tale world and, the person's going to be like rich, like in the next few days that you get to know them. But what we are saying is, may God lead that decision and really speak about it in depth where you are financially, where the other person is financially, and see if that is something that you want to pursue in the first place. Instead of just being like, you're not really rich enough for me.
You guys can grow together.
Need to stop.
Can I throw a controversial ball your way? How many times have we heard we're going to move in together, we're not married, we're going to move in together to save money? Can I just please say, number one, please don't move in together before you're not married. Number two, I will much rather advise spend the extra money, have different apartments, and just like don't do it. Like don't do it. Rather spend more money, stay separately until you're married. If you really want to, I would say accelerate the wedding date. But please don't fall for the lie of saving money, moving in together. It just doesn't work.
It just doesn't work.
Let's put a full stop there.
Yep.
If you want us to go into that in a bit more detail, you know what to do. Okay. Let me just see. I'm getting there. Should couples do premarital counseling?
100%. I have seen people who are married who've had premarital counseling and who have not have had premarital counseling. And there's a world of difference. Sometimes when we're so excited that we're gonna get married to this person, we don't always see the intensity of what challenges might, pop up in the future. And premarital counseling prepares you for stuff like finances. Finances is a big one in marriages, like especially how to navigate it. Is it a thing of like what's mine is yours, or is it like you do you, I do me, we separate? Like, I definitely do think that it's an important, topic.
Absolutely.
I think it's definitely one that you can just sit down and actually speak on for
absolutely.
Like quite intensely.
Absolutely. I also think that even if you guys are like feel that you're sorted and stuff like that, just do it anyway. What do you have to lose? The person that you can do that session with might just ask a question or two questions that you never thought of.
Yeah.
You never know, because it's not their first time counseling couples, so they might even know which questions to ask to ruffle some feathers and see if you guys are as perfect together as you think you are.
As you think you are, because our little bubble is so perfect, and then when we hit with the hardcore questions, and I think a lot of the times this is where unmet expectations step in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, now that we're married, this is not what I thought.
Yep.
Whereas people who've been through premarital counseling, heard about the finances talk, heard about the intimacy talk, like navigating how you're going to raise your kids, like all those type of things, temptations that pop up, things to look out for, in-laws. In-laws are also a very big topic, like the compatibility, just communication, like, the pillars in marriages that make a marriage last and stand.
Absolutely.
That all gets addressed in premarital counseling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a fun word to say, premarital counseling.
Premarital counseling.
Okay. Can love grow or must it be instant? I think we touched on it, but it is a question. I don't want anybody to say we had 69 questions. We are having 70 questions. Can love grow or must it be instant?
I definitely think we
did touch
on it, yeah.
Yeah, love can definitely grow.
Yeah.
It's oftentimes not instant. Is it okay to live together before marriage? We spoke about that.
We spoke about that. Nope.
It's not okay. It's not okay. Quick and easy. Should wedding size match your budget?
In our case, it was a faith journey. And God blessed it because it was a faith-based journey.
Please elaborate just for the viewers quickly, just like in a short way. What do you mean?
I'm just going to say revert back to episode 1. Yeah. Because if you guys have been walking this journey with us since episode 1, you'd know what I'm saying when I'm saying faith-based. We did not have this major budget for this extravagant wedding, but we still planned it in a way that we knew we would still both be happy with. And God blessed it. God blessed us out of nowhere using people that would bless us with different, you know, just things that we needed for the wedding. So even the lady of the venue just was such an instrument God used as well. And all this to say, it's just we had this faith that, you know what, God, because of what, you know, Henry and Janine shared with us, revert back to episode 1, just speaking on set the date and trust God.
Yeah, because you'll probably never get to that place where you have the perfect amount saved up. And, you know, like it's nice to work towards it, but like don't let it be a distraction or a disruption to say that we're first going to save before we get married.
Yes.
We said we're going to set the date and we're going to trust and we're going to get married with whatever we have.
Yeah.
Because getting married was more important for us
than having an extravagant big wedding.
Because it's a principal thing.
Like no one will remember in 13 years from now. Like nobody cares, guys. People care if you stayed married. People care if you're still walking the walk in your marriage. They couldn't care less about what dress you wore, how it looked. You care about it, yes, and rightfully so. Like 100%, all brides should, you know, strive for their dream wedding. But what I'm saying is don't misplace the whole intention of what marriage really is. It's about two people coming to make a covenant before God. And people that you invite are witnesses to that.
Yep.
So they need to witness and then keep you accountable. So make sure that your wedding guests, that's also a big topic. Your wedding guests are not just, you know, by the way, people that, you know, just felt nice to invite you. It should be people, obviously sometimes you don't have a choice, like family, I get all that, but make sure that, you know, it's intentional, people that will keep you accountable.
Yep.
It's literally a covenant before God that people get to witness and get to keep you accountable. So if you out there trying to get like a wedding that you want to feature on top billing, I don't even know if top billing is still a thing.
I doubt it. I don't know. We don't really watch TV.
What other programs are there? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever you wanted to feature on, that it's for the right reasons and not just because you want this extravagant wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is debt a deal breaker? I think we spoke about it slightly.
Yeah, we did touch on it.
Yeah, so debt is not a deal breaker, but it could be a red flag in certain cases.
Yes.
But you can choose if you want to do that together or not. Is engagement harder than marriage?
Nope.
Short answer is definitely no.
No. Marriage is the one that you need to work through and on.
The biggest thing engagement challenges you in your journey is temptation. And for that reason, it is very important that you are intentional with your engagement journey. And again, not to prolong it without not to prolong it unintentionally, to say, oh, we're going to save up and whatnot.
Yes, definitely. I think someone in this week actually spoke about it when the person was like, person should never be engaged for a long period. You should rather date, like get to know the person. If marriage is what you want, get to that point to say, will you marry me? Get engaged and immediately start planning the wedding. And I'm not talking about years of planning the wedding. When you know you want to get engaged, just know that you should, the wedding or the marriage, or whether, it doesn't matter how you choose to do it, whether you want to elope or whether you just want to do it in front of your pastor and do it in his office. Just get it done. Don't let the elongation of engagement cause you guys to fall into temptation, especially when your intention is to stay pure until you get married.
Yeah. Because that's the biggest thing. It's let's just be intimate. We're going to get married anyway, so. Okay. Should you discuss kids before marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know.
The biggest disappointment that you can get is that you want kids and then you find out your partner doesn't want to get kids after getting married.
Yes, please make sure that you guys talk about that one.
Yeah. Should faith practices align before marriage?
Yes, we touched on that.
Should couples argue before marriage?
It's inevitable, obviously.
You're going to have a disagreement.
You're going to have some kind of an argument pop up somewhere. And sometimes it's even in the wedding planning. That's where you actually see ooh.
Yeah.
Because the bride is stressed and the groom is thinking about a lot of things. And we want just to be a perfect day. And then emotions get high and your hormones, women, just go through the roof. And then before you know it, I've heard about so many people that we almost called off the wedding because, just when the breakthrough is almost there for the wedding day, I feel like the enemy just tries and throws his hardest arrows and to not get you to commit.
Absolutely.
But it's very rewarding just to get through it. So yeah. Couples probably should argue before marriage to see, how they navigate conflict.
Yeah, absolutely. Is marriage more about love or commitment?
It's about both.
Yeah, because not every day is gonna be a loving day, but you're gonna have to commit. So absolutely.
Yes, both. And what's cool is or what's really interesting is that both of these things, love and commitment, is a choice.
Couldn't have said it better. Yeah.
It's a choice. So is marriage about love and commitment? It's a choice for both. You're going to have to choose to do both every single day. Every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. Is counseling only for problems? I think counseling is very important because even if you don't have problems, it's just a good place to start to see where you are and maybe just to check your own blind spots.
I agree.
So if you feel like you're in the perfect place, counseling counseling might just bring up some stuff that you can chew on and refine even more.
Yeah.
Should boundaries with in-laws be set early?
I think it's a good thing to set them early so that your in-laws can't come back and say, well, it's because they got married now she thinks that she can just or it's because he's with her and the wife, this and that. So I definitely think it's it's a tricky topic, my love. It's tricky.
Yeah.
It's like it will trip some people up, but I definitely think that when it comes to in-laws, it's always good for the person who's from the direct family to address something instead of, when you get into the circle and in-laws overstep a boundary, that the person who they're actually related to doesn't stand up for the husband or the wife.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous territory. When you get married, it will always be my husband and I, not like my husband and his family or
gang
like
up
my
against
wife and her family.
Yeah.
Like I've seen so many situations where, in-laws would speak ill or cross boundaries or say hurtful things where your husband doesn't stand up for you.
That causes division.
And that causes division, and a lot of marriages like crumble because of it. So from the get-go, when the two of you are together, speak about these kind of things and ask one another, what is it like if we're in a certain situation and my in-law said this, are you going to stand up for me? Or your in-law said that, are you going to stand up for me?
Yep.
So yeah, I think actually you and I had a situation like that, and you rectified the situation immediately. And what I love about my mom is like she's next level. She like tells me like, hey, because she stands up for her son-in-law.
But you're not always wrong, baby.
I'm just making like an example. Like it's set early boundaries with in-laws so that they know that it's not something that just pops up now because you guys got married.
Important thing that came to like up now in my spirit is just to say that like don't disrespect your in-laws. Obviously, you and I are a unit, and we have each other's backs. But also honor your in-laws.
Yes.
Honor them. Look for opportunities to honor them.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to sort of give a golden nugget. You didn't ask for this, but this is important. If there's a disagreement, let's say now you and me, we're family, and there's a disagreement. Should you take your spouse's side first or your family's side first? I can tell you right now, rather, obviously the situation differs, but rather in that moment, back your spouse and then rectify after. There's nothing worse than not being a united front in front of your family. Because if there is division there between you and your spouse, it will set the standard for the family to continue to choose your side and not your spouse's
100%.
side. So rather be in unity in that moment. You can always rectify after. So I just wanted to give you that. Please, if there's anything you take from this, take that. Okay.
And that's the end of our podcast, guys. Because that was the golden nugget of this whole episode.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, I think we should elaborate in another episode on that one. But
you know what to do. Comment if you want us to do another episode.
Because it's quite an intense subject. I always say, just a quick one, like I always say, if you really love your husband or your wife, you will protect them first, yes. But also, if you love your husband and your wife, like immensely, you'd always make sure that they're always in a good space with their family.
Yeah.
And that you stay in a good space with your in-laws. It's not always easy, but you choose it for the betterment of your marriage and your relationship with your husband, because it's still his family, or vice versa with the wife, it's still her family, and we always want to pursue what Christ commands us, is to love one another, to forgive, to turn the other cheek. Yeah, don't want to go too much into that, but always just make sure that you are intentional to compromise in that and make sure that your other half is in a good space with them, regardless of how you feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm always like, when I see we're going to the next question, I always want to check if I'm on the right place. I don't want to. Next question. Is marriage preparation taken seriously enough?
I think with all the divorces that we've seen, I don't think people take it seriously enough. And I think that's an easy answer for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is love enough to sustain a marriage? No.
No.
Yeah, because you're not gonna love that. Like, you can love that person. Like, let me just put this the right way.
Reverse.
Yeah, reverse. You love your spouse. But there are days that they might not necessarily always do the stuff that you love, and then you have to choose to love them irrespective, because that is how you grow together. That is how you choose each other. And that's why you got married in the first place. This is to say that I would like to do life with you, with the easy stuff, with the difficult stuff. And you can't always have stuff your way, and that's fine, because you chose your partner in life.
Yes.
And that is why love comes easy, and it's often a choice. And that's why you choose to love the person that you want to spend your life with.
Yes.
Did I land that nicely?
You did, because it's. I think by now, like, most of you watching understand that we mean it when we say it's a choice, because I don't just wake up sometimes you're just irritated for no reason. And it doesn't mean that I don't love the person in that moment. I just might not like the person or my spouse or whatever the case may be. But love alone can't sustain the marriage. There's so many things that go with it: commitment, loyalty, respect, trust. All those kind of characteristics that keep the marriage going. It's a choice.
Yeah.
Sorry, let us become more rapid, babe. We have like so much more questions to go through.
Okay. I think it's safe to say, for everybody out there, let's do like a part 1 and a part 2. And
I also think so.
Yeah. But we're gonna hit all of them anyway. But we're just gonna, for your convenience, just gonna split it up into 2 parts. Does marriage change people? We covered that.
It does.
Should couples go to bed angry? It doesn't help.
Nope. I think that's the first lesson I learned in premarital counseling.
Yeah. Even the Bible says that you can't go to bed angry.
Yes.
No.
Do not let the sun go down on your wrath.
I like that. Potato.
Tomato.
Exactly. Okay, so that was a quick one. Right? Should couples get a bit angry?
Nope.
No, under no circumstances. Doesn't help. Is silence worse than arguing? It sets a standard. A very bad standard.
Very, because I used to be the one that wants to give silent treatment. Okay? And it didn't work. Because you just waste your time being silent for no reason. So, wait. Let me backtrack.
Reverse.
Choosing what to say is important when you're in an argument. And choosing when to keep quiet is better than continuing in an argument.
Very smart. You actually picked up on something very important.
Yes.
Well done.
Because when you say something in anger, you can never take it back, and it lands, and it, like, a lot of the times create a lot of scars. So it's important to know, when do I keep quiet during an argument, let myself calm down, give myself a moment, and then reply or respond. But silent treatment, that's from the devil.
It sets a standard that is difficult to maintain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it, like, silent treatment just doesn't work. It wastes your time when you can actually sort it out with the person that you really love. So.
Yeah. And you lose days. Some people go into a silent treatment thing for days. And it's just, it hurts more than what it fixes.
Exactly.
Who should apologize first?
The humble one.
Listen, I know that was a joke.
Both of us need to be humble.
Yeah, I saw you coming with that one.
Yeah, I feel like who should apologize first? Just because you feel like you were right doesn't mean you shouldn't still go and apologize. I feel like marriage is definitely give and take. You can't always be right. And even if you are right, like me, 90% of the time. No, I'm just joking. Still go, and if you want this to continue and you want to protect this, sometimes being the least costs you the most, but it's the most rewarding in the long run.
I want to pose a question to say, like, what do you want to prove by not apologizing? So, like, I that's a rhetorical question, but I want to say, like, obviously, there are some people that don't want to apologize, although they know they're wrong. But apologizing because this is your best, you're my best friend. You are my life partner, So, I mean, I'm not gonna show my family that I am superior because I'm not apologizing. In actual fact, it's not the way to go. So just apologize, even if you were not wrong.
Exactly.
I'm not saying like do that every single time, but rather choose peace over arguing.
Yes, definitely agree on that.
Is compromise always necessary?
I feel like if it comes out of a genuine place, yes. But if you're being manipulated into compromising, then hell to the no.
Yeah, and I think we covered it in one of the last like recent episodes to say that compromise could be a good way to say that what is it that you need and what is it that I need and how can we get each other in the middle. So it could be a beautiful thing, but not if you manipulate it.
Yeah, if you're bullied into it, manipulated into it, and there's a lot of toxic traits that go into always having to compromise, then no. But when it comes out of a genuine place of love and you know that this can save that situation or lessen the direction of it going into an argument, then just be the least.
I like that. Is privacy in marriage real? I like this question.
I also like it, but you start so that I can piggyback off of you.
Privacy in marriage could be a very big gray area. If it's one thing to need privacy in marriage. Let me not even go there. It's just that, like, if you feel like you need privacy in your marriage, it's a red flag because we're supposed to be open with one another. You should know everything about me with you, because we're doing life together. It's one thing to have privacy, like in a relationship, in terms of like if we have another couple friends, we're not necessarily going to disclose everything about our marriage to them. That privacy is different. But if you feel like you need privacy in your marriage, you should definitely ask yourself why. Because it's a very big gray area, and it could lead to a lot of red flags, because what would I want to hide from you anyway?
Yes.
Because if I start hiding small things from you, what stops me from hiding bigger things from you? And where's that going to end?
Privacy in a marriage isn't a real thing, because we are one. When we are joined together, we are one. Exactly. As soon as we go into covenant together, we are one. So there's nothing that I can hide from you. I am completely open, me, as raw and real. I almost feel like it's like nakedness. Like you see every aspect, and there's no privacy for that in a marriage.
Yeah.
Me time, I get it.
Like, I think that's actually one of the questions. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's actually like just 2 more down. Okay. But privacy is not a real thing. Even in the silly things like going to the bathroom. Trust me on this. Like, some people think it's gross, but eventually the door is just left open.
Easy.
And that's
And
my
you just
answer.
spoiled it for everyone.
And that's my final answer.
I like that. Okay. Should finances be fully transparent?
Yes.
I
Especially
agree.
when you're married. Especially when you're married. Like, obviously when you're dating, like, I'm not going to show you but eventually when we're speaking about marriage, before we go into it, I'm going to tell you, okay, this is what I have and this is what
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, financiers surely should be fully transparent.
I agree. Is me time important in marriage?
There we go.
Finally.
Yes, it is, because I need it. And if I need it, you prob's gonna need it. Right?
Yeah, it's one way of looking at it. It's one way of
Okay, just
looking at it.
from my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, me time means you time.
I agree.
Look how I saved that.
Yeah. So I think that me time is I wanna land this nicely.
I see, because it can be a sensitive thing.
If we are married,
There isn't something like that.
okay, let me frame this. If framing this is important.
Yeah.
Me time to me as JD growing up was always somebody in my life that would say, I need me time, please leave me alone. And that sort of gave me the impression that the person needs to escape from something that is a burden or that is, tiring them out.
Whoa, okay, yeah.
So in that sense, that's important why I needed to frame this. Me time is nice if you if you need time, it's important for people to have that time, maybe away with friends and stuff, and still cultivate relationships, but not because you're tired of your spouse. That is the
So
one.
good. Yeah.
Because if you need me time from your spouse to escape from them, you really need to do introspection. Some of these words, is a tongue twister. But if you need me time because you need to get away from your spouse, you need to ask yourself the question, what are you hiding from? And I would rather say, when you are in that situation, don't try and cover it up. Rather speak to your spouse to say, that this is bugging me. Can we please talk about it? Because if you find yourself in that place where you need to escape from them, there is something that is pulling you down, and that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
It's going to come up eventually.
Yes. I think what I meant when I initially responded, when I said that, yes, I do need me time.
Yeah.
What I meant by that is that it's healthy to take some time for yourself. And I don't, from my perspective and from my viewpoint, I like me time with JD being around. Meaning, like, when he's busy working, like, I like to take time for myself and do what I want to do. Like, sometimes I would just, like, small things like do my nails, or I'd watch movies all day, or because obviously, like, when I have a day off and he doesn't, like, I love enjoying that me time, but I love the comfort of knowing that he's still in my vicinity and that he's still with me. Like, there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than for me, than not being around my husband for too long of a time and I miss him so much. And that's actually a healthy sign, because that means, like, I'm not trying to stay for long, elongated periods of time away from my spouse.
Yeah.
That is definitely a red flag, and you need to sort that out. But it's healthy to allow spouses to have a sense of escape with godly, I want to say godly friends, or whether it like a godly activity. I'm not talking about spiritually, like, ooh, I'm gonna go read the Bible and I'm gonna go pray for like me time. That's not what I mean. And you should do that, guys. Very important. What I'm saying is like to find something for yourself that gives you that sense of like, oh, I can just relax, whether it be watching sport, whether it be going out to do some kind of physical activity like sport or gym, or that's you time. That's like something you can go and do to release good endorphins in your body and stuff, and just feel that release without having, to have another person with you, but just something that you do for yourself. So me time can be healthy if it's in the right, done in the right intention or in the right manner. Yes, sir.
Can love fade?
Love can fade.
Yeah, if you allow it to.
If you allow it.
You can also choose to ignite it again.
Yes. Yes. I think you said in one of the previous episodes, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. I think that still sat with a few people, like that actually reached out, a few weeks after that to say, if it's up to me, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And truly is like, everything takes effort when it comes to still staying in love and letting the love not fade in your marriage. It's like a spark plug that you would physically have to take and keep sparking it. So as soon as it fades out, you just ignite it once again.
Yeah.
And I think obviously we can delve into how you can do that. It's to constantly date your partner. You are married, but you need to constantly date, because a lot of the times when you spoil them and you like let's go out on a date, or do these like little acts of service for them, like love can grow back into and like bloom again. And then as soon as you feel like it's not, just change the scenery again and create that space where you can feel that love grow again, if that makes sense.
Couldn't have said that better. Our last question for this part: is marriage hard work?
Yes.
I think it's important to differentiate, to say that it is hard work.
It's hard, beautiful work.
Exactly, because we choose to do it. It's worth it. It's not always fabulous and extravagant, but worth it.
Absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it, especially when, I don't know, but especially when you really, really know that this is the person God blessed you with and you have that peace about it. You'll do anything to fight for it.
Yep.
And God has entrusted us with one another. And for those of you who are still trusting God for your partner, when God entrusts you with that person, make sure that it's worth fighting for, and that even though it is hard work, that it's the most rewarding hard work that there is, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Like, I can't express how many times there were a lot of situations where it felt so hard. Marriage is so hard right now, but coming back together and choosing one another again and loving on one another, forgiving one another, respecting one another, praying over one another. I think the praying part has definitely helped me a lot, especially when I go through my own little personal battles and things. Like JD would come to me and he would just take my hand and be like, okay, let's pray about it. Let's pray. And like immediately, like it would lift off of me. So just those little things that make sure that you want to fight for it. Make sure that the person feels fought for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Love you, baby. Thank you so much for doing life with me. Here we go. I love you so much, babe. I think let's keep it there for this part, and then we'll see you guys in the next one.
And we'll be back with part 2 in the next episode.
So while you guys are here, before you go, remember that if there are any of these questions that you want us to do a deep dive in, do a dedicated episode, please let us know in the comments on whichever platform. But we'd love to know.
Yeah.
See you in the next one.
See you guys. Thank you.